Well, hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to show you how I did these little embellishment strips. These are kind of similar to a snippet strip, I guess you could say, but you're not really using snippets. They kind of have a collage background and then some stitching along the top. And you can embellish these with any embellishments that you like. So basically, I'm working with 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. I grabbed 3 different patterns here, 3 different sheets. Now, 2 of them will only use like half of the sheet, so we're not using 3 full sheets here. And then I also have other scrap papers and little, cut-offs from die cuts that I'm going to incorporate in these. And so you're just going to take your one main piece of 12 by 12 paper and then grab 2 coordinating. And like I said, you only have to have half sheets of these. But you'll get 2 coordinating sheets that go with that, and then you're just going to cut these down into strips. And so what I've been doing is taking these and cutting them down into 2-inch strips. And I got a little overzealous here. I cut too many. I think, should we use 2 or 3? I can't remember. We'll see here in a minute. But yeah, I think we only needed 2. Oh, no, maybe we needed 3, and I cut 4 by mistake. So you don't need that much. 3 strips of each print should work. And I'm just going to cut this one. Now, what I will say about this particular paper, probably wasn't my best choice. Those other 2 are really good because they're kind of directional. This one doesn't have an obvious direction, so it didn't give the effect in the end that I was really hoping for, but they still turned out really cute. All right, so now what we're going to do is just get a glue stick, and I am just using Elmer's washable glue stick. Doesn't have to be anything expensive because we're going to wind up, stitching through this, and then I'll go through at the end and glue down any loose little pieces that may be sticking up. But all we're doing here is taking these strips and alternating them, and we're going to leave one spot open for the background. So that way we've got a piece of paper to glue these things to, but then we're getting the effect of it having a separate strip on there as well, if that makes any sense at all. So you just alternate your strips, and then you're going to glue them down to the base piece of paper. And I'll fast forward through some of this here in just a minute. But this way, I just found this a really good way to mass produce these fairly quickly. So I'll get that stuck down good. And that glue stick is everywhere. But the good thing is it's purple, so I can see where it's at and clean it off. All right. And then you'll just go through with these with your second pattern and glue that one down right next to it. And I don't leave any space in between these. Now, of course, you guys are free to, do this in whatever way you like to, if you find something that works better for you. But I really like the way these look when they turn out, when they're finished. All right. So you'll see me just pick up an extra little strip of paper, and I didn't glue that down. It's basically just my placeholder. So I put that down just to keep me from uh, gluing another sheet of paper too close. Basically just helps keep my spacing. And I'm not gluing these in any particular, right side up or upside down. See, and then we'll take this strip off, and there you have an extra, you know, your spacing works out perfect. And we'll speed this up just a little bit. I'm sure you guys can figure this part out. Oh, see, that's all we wound up needing was 2 strips of each pattern paper. So it wasn't very much. All right. And then what we're going to do is take this sheet and put it back in the paper trimmer, turn it the other direction. Now we're going to cut it down again in 2-inch strips. But when we cut it in this direction, it's like a checkerboard pattern. So we should wind up with 6 2-inch wide strips. And then what I do is grab a piece of ugly cardstock. See my roller skates here. I really don't see me using this for anything else. So I'm just going to use this as a base for me to be able to glue these strips down to. And so all I'm doing now is taking these strips and I'll turn every other one upside down so that they're going in different directions. And you kind of see here what I mean about that one pattern not really having a direction on it. So it kind of looks like it's a solid stripe. But that's okay. It still turns out really good in the end, I think. So all I'm going to do with these is glue them down the same way that we did the others. Just make sure that when you're gluing your strips down that you're paying attention to the direction. See, this one I accidentally flipped upside down. So then when I went to attach the next one, I was like, wait a minute, why is all of them are going the wrong direction? So just pay attention to what's right side up and upside down. Of course, if you glue one and it's in the wrong direction, it's not the end of the world because you probably won't notice it in the finished product anyway. Okay, and you're just going to continue through and glue all of these strips down. And then after that, you're going to grab all those little stray pieces I was showing you earlier, your little scraps and snippets. These are kind of like a snippet roll, I guess, or snippet strips, but they're not really using the same method, I guess. I don't know. I find this one a lot faster to be able to. I get 9 or 10 strips out of this method, and this only took me, I don't know, 30 minutes maybe. It was pretty fast. But as soon as this gets stuck down, we're going to start grabbing our snippets and making just making random collage out of them. You know, you've got all this pattern and you didn't have to cut out all these little pieces individually, which is very helpful. All right, now here I've just got my random little snippets. Got some music paper, some ledger paper, and then I've also got some bits of tea-dyed doily leftovers. And this is something I really enjoy using, which is the negatives from die cuts. I really, really like gluing these on because when they're cut up into strips, it gives it a really neat effect. I love the way those look. You just have to be careful when you glue these down that you get all the little edges glued, but they turn out so cute. And then I've just got some handmade paper, brown handmade paper. I think that just came from Amazon. So I'm just going to collage all this down in a random manner. Uh, and you can go over any of the lines, those seams on there. Just put it however you want. And we'll get this all glued down and I'll be right back. And there she is. All of it's glued down, so it's one solid sheet. Now I'm using my guillotine cutter this time just because I've got several sheets of paper and some of it I think was like heavier weight, more toward cardstock than paper. But I just go through here and uh, I don't cut these even necessarily. I just cut them to the width that I like. I like them when you can see like half of one square and half of another square, like the seam is down the middle of the strip. And you can see how cute those little die cut negatives are. Love that. So I got 9 random widths on these. You can cut them all the same. You could sew them into a strip, uh, like a roll if you wanted to. But I really like the way these turned out. And I'm just going to go stitch these with the zigzag stitch, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, here are the finished embellishment strips. I just took them through the sewing machine and did a zigzag sort of in the middle. And you can see that that made like a ton of these strips. So from here, you can take them and just use them as is. You can cut pieces off, use them as edge decorations on a page. You can cut these in varying widths. So had you left them a little larger, you could make tags out of them and they'd already be collaged. And then maybe you would just go around the edge with your machine. And of course, you don't have to stitch these. But I just found this is a super quick way to get some really good looking collage strips. And then you can put these, you know, you can do them in any kind of color theme that you want to. So I did a neutral set here. And then, of course, I showed you at the beginning my pink set that I like.
So, and then you can also embellish these however you want to. Little cutout stamped images or any kind of little, die cuts or anything like that. Lace and fabric would be super cute on these. So anyway, I hope that that was helpful. Oh, one more thing. When you get through running them through the machine, I would just go around the edge and check and make sure everything is down good. And if there's any little bits that are sticking up, I just take like a fine tip glue and go in and put just a tiny bit of glue in there. And that way it's all stuck down. Okay. Well, I hope this was helpful. You guys have a good day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, y'all.